Story 1. You will be underappreciated in big ways by more people than you think. The hardest part about this is that it can't be solved by isolating yourself. Rather, you must find a healthy balance of being open to people while avoiding being taken advantage of. Story 2. Learn to be comfortable with your own company. The only person living your life is you. In the final analysis, the only experiences that matter are your own and what you learn from them. Be flexible, unafraid of change. The moment you stop learning and adapting, you begin to slow and die. Age does not kill you, mental and physical inactivity do. Story 3. My parents didn't know what they were doing, and I mean that in the best way possible. When my parents were the age that I am now, they had a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. I remember my brother and I arguing with our parents, and it would always just come back to the most little kid argument there is. It's not fair. You're just making up the rules as you go. Of course they were. I'm 38 years old, and I'm more aware than ever that I'm just a little kid driving around in an adult body, weighed down by the cumulative force of the real world. 8th grade bullies, difficult bosses, bad luck, unhealthy relationships, and the occasional hard-fought win. I'm just pretending to know what I'm doing and hoping I'm right, and my parents, everybody's parents, were doing the same thing. My parents were beaten down by life in their own way that turned them into the people they are, and that meant that sometimes they got it wrong with how my brother and I were parented. That realization has helped me let a lot of things go, and has ultimately helped me do my part to repair my relationship with my parents where some serious wrongdoing fractured the relationship for a lot of years. But it also made me realize that I spent a lot of time being angry at people who were doing the best job that they knew how to do, in spite of their own experiences and traumas. It may have been their responsibility, but it wasn't their fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It just sucks for everybody. Story 4. Your body slows down on recovery, and you're more prone to injury from things you could easily do when you're in your 20s. You might become intolerant to certain foods such as dairy, spicy, and acidic, and will have to change your dietary habits. Really, they're only harsh truths if you're unprepared for them. Story 5. There is no place you can go, no amount of money you can make, things you can have, or people that you associate with that will stop the universe from throwing its unending and relentless amount of inconvenient problems at you. You just have to swallow your pride, alter your aspirations, and accept the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Live one day at a time and accept you are just smart enough to be uncomfortable with issues, but that doesn't mean it is always your responsibility to fix them. Story 6. The way you look in your 30s has a lot to do with how you lived in your 20s. I'm 34 and look younger than that. Many of the people I graduated with look like they're in their 50s or worse. Don't smoke crack or meth. Story 7. Recognize poisonous people, whether they are friends, family, or acquaintances. These people will only drag you down. Rely on yourself and surround yourself with people who challenge you in a good way. Misery loves company. Story 8. Happiness comes from within. Took me a very long time to understand this. It is not something you will learn at school or university or from the television. Learn to be loving, forgiving, sympathetic, patient, thankful, and compassionate inside towards yourself, and the world will reflect that. Story 9. Time is slipping away. You know this in your 20s, but you see and feel it in your 30s. You see your parents getting old, and your kids or other people's kids just keep growing up and getting more independent. The years seem shorter. For example, you get buried at work after New Year's, and all of a sudden it's February. Some people are motivated to seize the day, and others get sad about time passing. Either way, you definitely feel it more in your 30s. Story 10. I used to have a mantra. I will be better every day, in every way, than the day before. As part of my plan to work hard and become as awesome as possible in mind, body, and spirit. I could never stand the thought of being just an ordinary person, and so I was desperate to stand out as something better than a mere human. I thought that once I got awesome enough, the world would be mine to save, and I could just coast on my skills and aura of awesomeness. Nope, it was never that easy. A life of ambition will always be a struggle to outpersist the randomness, and there will never be an awesome enough. It is very possible to slip up and spend large stretches of time actively getting worse, even in fundamental things like moral lapses. I'm a human after all, and I'm not even the only person struggling to be great. That said, I really should take up that mantra again. Story 11. That constantly worrying about bad things happening doesn't stop bad things from happening. All it did was cause problems and stopped me from enjoying the present. Story 12. You will reach a time in your life when your parents will get old and eventually need your help, whether it's wanted or not. It will be one of the hardest things you ever do, seeing your mother or father decline to someone you don't even recognize anymore. It's heartbreaking for you and embarrassing for them. But being there in their last few years will bring so much comfort. Don't forget about the people that raised you. Story 13. Everything is temporary. Getting too attached to someone or something is only going to lead to misery. Learn to accept everything for what it is at the time and be okay with losing it at some point. Story 14. Just because your schoolmates and teachers say you will be a rip-roaring success once you graduate does not mean you will. And even if you do, it may take a long time. I was among the top 10% of my class, graduated high school with a 4.0 and college with a 3.6. My teachers and schoolmates constantly praised me for my talents as a writer and artist and knew that I would make it big after high school. It did not happen. Here I am at 32, struggling to make ends meet as a freelance reporter who can barely get 2 assignments a month. My novel has been rejected by close to 100 agents, and my webcomic has failed to attract much of an audience. Why? In part because even if you were special and talented in school as an adult, you are competing against hundreds and thousands of others who were just as special and talented as you were, if not more so. You are one of a million, not one in a million. Harsh, sure, but is it hopeless? Heck no. I could still find success. You could still find success. Will we? Who knows? But I am going to keep trying, and if you are struggling to find success, you should keep trying too. Story 15. Not super harsh, but I was a little bummed out when the athletes my age started retiring. You always have that thing in the back of your mind. I could do that if I buckled down and focused on being the best I could be. It's weird realizing your athletic prime has passed. Of course, for a non-elite athlete, you can still be competitive through your 40s. Story 16. Just take care of yourself, primarily. Young people tend to be idealistic and are taught that they should want to change the world for the better. I wasted a lot of time reading and thinking about issues I have no control over. It's much easier and more beneficial to make your own life better. Story 17. For single guys in their 30s, your friend group starts to fade. It was a tough transition for me to accept at first. They are still your friends, of course, but as they start to get married, have kids, move away, and so on, you just do not have the crew you used to have. In a way, it is good because it forces you to be more independent, but sometimes I miss having that part of my social life. It also changes how you think about dating. I am definitely looking more for a partner and a friend rather than just superficial connections. Again, that is probably a good thing. Story 18. You are responsible for 3 things: your words, your actions, and your motives. Your motives will determine your words and your actions. Live accordingly. Story 19. You learn what to really care about. All those video game achievements you wasted time on, your clothes, your television, what your social media looks like, it all just doesn't matter. You don't really care much about most people, nor do most people care about you. When it comes to social health and most things in life, choose quality over quantity. The young-minded will try to disprove this, but will later realize they are wrong. Story 20. Consequences are very hard and real. There will be no magic moment that changes it all. No one is coming to save you. You need to be your own best friend, cheerleader, drill sergeant, and mother. Work on regular incremental change and maintenance of good practice. When you work on yourself in harmony across life areas, people can come to your aid, and lucky breaks may occur. But you can lose those just as quickly as you gain them. You should really have anchors, rituals, practices, and systems in place that you kind of run on autopilot to keep going when times get rough or to get out of a bind. Practically speaking, I find the following to be invaluable. Start taking action to invest money for old age. Time creeps up fast, and we can't count on standard pensions anymore. Take time for your health daily, like exercising, meditating, eating healthy, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, or just going for walks. Brush your teeth and floss every day at least twice. Pay attention to the ridges and don't brush too hard. This can save you so much pain and money down the line. If you have a medical issue that persists, get it checked out if you can afford it. If it's too expensive, maybe a free clinic or an online consultation would do. Maybe it won't be that bad, but nip it in the bud before it has the chance to become something beyond repair. Put effort into some solid relationships with friends and or family. It gets harder to make friends when you get older as a guy, and loneliness can be so crippling. Be there for your friends, actively listen to them, crack jokes, have fun together, help them with manual tasks. Be a good friend and you can have good friends. Just know it may still not be the same as when you were younger, as they may have a partner and kids. Even then, make time for it. It matters. Learn demonstrable skills that can translate into professions and careers. On the one hand, this could be a degree. I would opt for either something with academic skills so you can use it for research or analysis in several fields, or a degree that prepares you for a job where there is demand. Or learn skills that you can show potential employers or clients, like an online portfolio for coders or creatives, some record of past projects for manual laborers, and key performance indicators with results if you're in business or consulting. This, in combination with recommendations and leaving a good impression, can go a long way career-wise. Obviously, demand can change considering the time we live in. I only see that as more of a reason to stay on top of this with a lifelong learning approach. Do something or be somebody outside of work. Have a hobby, community, or activity you can spend time on regularly. Especially if you're not trying to be the next paragon of your industry or don't have young kids in the house, you'll want something you can actively dedicate yourself to. It will matter more when you grow older. This should also be something more than having a favorite sports team, unless you're coaching the kids or doing something in the organization, or something passive like going for beers unless you're brewing them or something. Actively do something or be something or someone outside of your work and family roles. I've screwed up in so many ways and also have had unfortunate things happen to me. I'm now playing catch-up in the game of life 15 years in arrears. If I'd taken these things more seriously when I was younger, everything would be more manageable now. I'm working on all of these as we speak, but it gets harder, and you have less energy as you age. Sorry for the rant, this hits close to home. Too long. Didn't read. 1. Be your own savior through systems and habits. 2. Invest for old age. 3. Do things to take care of your health daily. 4. Brush your teeth and floss daily. 5. If you have a medical issue, seek medical help as soon as possible. 6. Put regular effort into friendships. 7. Build skills that employers or clients could want. Have an identity, hobby, or activity outside of work and family. Story 21. Worrying about things you have no control over isn't just a waste of your own time. It's an unnecessary drain on your mental well-being too. Learning to let the uncontrollable do its own thing is something everyone should practice as early as possible. Story 22. Every person serves a purpose in your life. If they don't do something for you, they may just be a leech off you. Pay attention to the ones you actually care about. Something I reflect on from time to time is that people are temporary. Very few people will be in your life forever, so it's easier to accept that people will slowly fade from your life, even if you do everything in your power to keep them there. You are two different people with different lives. I have been a non-playable character in a lot of people's lives over the years, and I find it hilarious. You have to put in effort to stay in good shape, no more eating full pizzas and gonna sleep to keep a good body. That thing you did 20 years ago that was super embarrassing, only you care about it enough to remember. Anyone else who goes out of their way to remind you about it is a huge jerk. My body hurts for no reason at times. A lot of what my parents told me was from their experiences at my age. Many of them still apply to me. You are not as important as you think you are. Story 23. If you are still pursuing girls in their early 20s, yes, you will look like a creep. However, on the positive side, girls in their early 20s are absolutely exhausting to deal with. It is just not worth it anymore. Story 24. I'm 35. We had my first daughter at 18 and my second daughter at 21. I didn't live in the moment enough. I didn't appreciate those times and enjoy them when they were cute little kids. We were broke kids ourselves, struggling to raise them, and you get caught in that. Now my oldest is graduating next year, and the possibility of them growing up and moving out is very near, and I find this heartbreaking. I'm painfully aware of the passing of time now. It seems to go by so fast, it's almost scary, and I want it to slow down. I feel sad for the times I missed when they were little, so I try to appreciate the little things with them now while we can.